Hey, Bill. Love the podcast. Back cataloging it like crazy. Here's my fucking problem. I got a roommate who is wonderful. We're buddies. We watch stupid shit and laugh at it together. He's got this girlfriend who is a drain on everything that is fun in the world. I'm not talking about the regular guy-girl argument crap. I mean everything. Quick example, we were watching that BBC Planet Earth series, and we're just looking at the most beautiful shit in the world, literally, and all she could do is bitch about how ugly the birds were. Complain about David Attenborough's voice.
Oh, my God.
Or get mad at some animal just because it's killing another animal to survive.
Horrible.
After that would really ruin.
Yeah.
I
haven't seen that series, but it's supposed to be amazing. So I'm already mad that someone would ruin it like that.
Potheads love that fucking show.
Oh, yeah. That's the best time to watch stuff like that.
Hey, man, let's smoke a doobie and see how the world was made.
The world's so big, man.
Can you imagine if you like a plant, man, and like you'd open up and then close down, and then a bee'd come by, and you wouldn't be scared, man, because he's your friend.
That's the best.
Here's my flower juice, man.
And that's the thing. That's what's so lovely sometimes about smoking pot is that you can do silly, like good, clean, fun things. Like watch a documentary on the planet Earth. And just smoke pot and just laugh and be filled with wonderment.
I wish I could do that.
Filled with wonderment.
I wish I could do that because I can't sit down and watch a documentary on the planet Earth unless I've taken some drugs. Why can't you just sit there and enjoy it?
You can, but it's more fun.
I get it.
It
enhances.
A little pot.
I break their balls.
Laugh. It's silly. It's like no one smokes pot and goes out and like robs banks or knocks people over.
Are you really going to go with that? Like that hasn't been said.
It's true.
Everybody says
that. Well, people say it. Well, everyone says it because it's true.
It's because it's a fucking. It just mellows you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to the point you become part of your couch and you wake up
20
years later and you're still sitting there eating fucking Fritos. And you're all right with it. You're all right with it.
Don't harsh my mellow, man.
Yeah, all right. No, I'm not. I'm looking.
So anyway,
it's not like booze is any better.
This girl is being a complete wet blanket during this amazing experience.
That's a nice way to say it, yes. So anyways, he goes, after we finish this documentary, she said she would love to be a crew of a nature documentary shoot. And anyways, she's got no soul. The guy loves her. They've been together for over a year, but it's clear he can't stand to be around her. They only ever argue, and not in the great way you and Nia did in one of the podcasts where y'all laughed with each other. It's unbearable, and she's at my apartment 5 days a week. Most nights, I eventually either drink or just smoke so I can just stay in this. So I'm not in the same world as her. And I like smoking. Who am I kidding? I want to talk to him about it, but he's a really private person. We've never talked about his relationship stuff. He tends to steer away from it. It becomes pretty obvious that I can't stand the girl. It's becoming pretty obvious I can't stand the girl, nor can any of our friends. I'm afraid she's going to drive us apart and then feast on his soul so she can try to find some kind of personality for herself.
That is hilarious.
How do you think I should approach this topic with this guy? I got a right to complain to him about this girl, right?
Yes.
Got to do it tenderly or something?
Yes. Yes to both those things. I mean, listen, you live there too. So if their arguments and everything it's affecting your enjoyment of living in your home, then you have every right to say something.
How should he go about it?
Yeah, well, that's the tricky part. Just say,
Should they smoke weed first?
Just say, obviously, like, you're one of my best friends. I love hanging out with you, but I gotta be honest with you. I don't really get along so well with whatever the fuck her name is. So I don't know if I'm going to be hanging out with you guys so much. If she's over here, I don't think I'm going to be hanging out as much. And just put it like that. Don't say, I feel like you should break up with her. I feel like she's going to rob you of your soul or feast on you or whatever you said, which was so great. You don't have to say all that. Just say, you know what, I'm just not really... I don't get along with her. You guys fight a lot, and it's really uncomfortable. Like
that there is a good one.
Yeah,
you guys fight a lot.
Yeah, you guys fight a lot. I hear it, and it's really uncomfortable. I just want to chill out at home. I don't have a good time with her when we're all hanging out. I don't know what you want to do. Can you guys hang out more at her place, maybe? But this isn't working for me. I live here too. I pay half the rent, and you're my friend, so I want to be honest with you. And see what he says. And he might probably just be like, yeah, I know. But he's got to figure that shit out for himself. But at least you
think
say
he'll
it.
flip out because that's the girl that's
He might flip
giving
out.
it up to him?
He might flip out, but unless he's calling the girl names and saying, you know, your girlfriend's a bitch and I can't believe you're dealing with that, you know, lunatic, then it should be fine. But if he says, I don't really get along with her, I don't have a good time when she's here, you guys fight and I'm not into it, and maybe we can work out a different schedule so that you hang out a bit more at her place. Because I live here too.
That's a very nice way of saying your girl is a big bag of douche.
Yeah, and the thing is, your friend knows it too, but it may be a good thing too because no one else is saying it to him.
So
because how do you do that? How do you tell your friend that they're dating an asshole? It's a tough situation.
I think what you do is just say
so.
What you just said. I think is way better than what I was saying on the. I don't remember what the fuck I said, but just go in there and just saying, listen, you know, I like you, I want you to be happy, but you and your girlfriend, you argue a lot, and it's wearing me down, and I'm finding that I'm medicating myself so I can be around it, and I don't want to be around it. I'm not saying she can't come over here. I'm not saying that, but if there's any way, you know, she's over here 5 days a week. If there's any way you could just split those, you know, and you know, if you love this girl, then I'm not going to get. We never trash the girl. That's a huge. Don't ever trash the girl.
I mean, inevitably, if he goes along with it, the roommate says, "Okay, you're right." He will have to say to the girlfriend, "You know what? Let's hang out." But I like hanging out at your place. Well, you know, my roommate kind of just wants time to themselves. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, they have a problem with me?
He's going to go right over and
flip
tell
out
her.
Regardless, you know.
No, because he's going to tell her.
Yeah. He has to. He has to.
He doesn't have to. If he's a smart guy, he won't say shit.
How will he do it, though? Just say, let's hang out at your house
because he's going to create a nightmare. That's what fucking broke up the Beatles. That's what broke up the Beatles, is John and Paul kept going home and bitching to their fucking girls about each other rather than just fucking hashing it out between themselves. And then the fucking women got sick of hearing it, and they said, well, then fucking start your own band.
Right.
You're fucking driving me nuts with this shit. and everybody blames Yoko and fucking, what's her face? But,
Linda.
you know, that video I showed a long time ago where, what's his face, John Lennon is playing guitar with Chuck Berry, and they're playing some fucking song from back in the 50s that, you know, inspired, like, John Lennon, I guess, to pick up the guitar. Like, they loved Chuck Berry. And, you know, they're playing one of those fucking, you know, back in the USA kind of fucking songs. And Yoko, this is how a little control he had his relationship. He lets Yoko be in the band on TV playing with them, playing bongos. And they have this little fucking bongo with one microphone on it. And I don't know who the fuck was the sound guy, but he should have had the mic off because they're in the middle of this fucking 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, kind of fucking old school rock and roll song. And she just grabs the mic, and watch your ears, everybody. I'm going to try not to do it too loud. She just goes, like fucking out of nowhere. And the look on Chuck Berry's face is priceless. He just looks at the crowd with his eyes wide open, and you know exactly what he's saying. He is this guy in this email, in that fucking video. He's basically looking at the crowd going, I don't know what he sees in her. I can't say shit. He loves her.
I would like to see the looks on the people's faces that he used to pee on, Chuck Berry. I'd like to see that.
What, the willing people who are into that stuff? I thought you didn't judge people.
I don't judge people, but that's awful.
Why are you judging him for that? And I actually thought he took pictures of people taking dumps.
He did? I didn't know about that.
Maybe he didn't. I
thought he just peed on people.
Well, look, you're a rock star. You've done everything. You've checked everything off the list. What else can I do to this girl? And they let him.
Yeah, I
and
guess.
It's a legitimate thing that some people are into.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. And yes, I try to be tolerant. I try not to judge. But
no, you're just mad
ridiculous.
Because once again, this is a lady. I actually blamed the fucking Beatles breaking up on Paul and John being bitches. Okay, can I get credit for that?
I got that.
Okay, well then, can you at least roll with me that
I
you
am
shouldn't
rolling
be
with you, but I just you said Chuck Berry.
With somebody going, yeah, in the middle of a fucking classic song.
No, you're right. But I just was thinking of Chuck Berry, and I just remember hearing that he used to pee on people. And you said Chuck Berry's reaction, and it made me think of, I wonder what the reaction was as he's, you know, starting to pee.
Actually funny.
And it goes from like, oh my God, I'm fucking like, you know, rock blues guitar god Chuck Berry, and now he's peeing on me. And this was back in the day before people would talk about this, and it was known that it was, this was a real taboo thing. So I just could imagine you're having sex with this guy, and all of a sudden he starts peeing on you.
You think that's like a new thing?
No, not new. It's new that people are discussing more openly. I don't think back in when was he big? 50s, 60s?
Yeah, like didn't the Greeks like openly talk about homosexuality like fucking 1,000 fucking years ago? Didn't they do that? Didn't they?
Maybe, but they don't talk about it.
They had a room just for you to go in and throw up in after you fucking ate.
But people didn't. But people like in the 50s and 60s, they weren't necessarily talking about like how common it is for people to want to pee on
in the
people.
golden age of television. They didn't talk about a golden shower.
Speaking of golden age, let's talk about a new trend sweeping the nation.
I had a long time ago. I had this drum teacher, and I actually put this in that book that we wrote, and. This guy was like 70 years old or something. I had a girlfriend, and I missed a lesson. And he said, he goes, a stiff prick has no conscience. And he was breaking my balls. And he goes, so what'd she look like? Let me hear. So
let me tell you about a story so true. We're showing me style, and it's all so cool. It's about a garment torn and frayed. Yet in its threads, the story conveyed. Walking down the streets with holes in my teeth. Each ripped and tear part of me you see. It ain't about the brand or the label it holds. It's about the journey, the stories it unfolds. In these ragged clothes, I find my voice. A testament to resilience, my choice. From the streets to the stage, I rock my style. In my tattered shirt, I walk that mile. Ripped and torn, but still I stand in my ragged attire. I command, it's not just fabric, it's a statement I preach. In my threadbare garment, I find my reach. From the barrio to the bar, I make my mark. In my worn out jeans, I leave a spark. They may call it rags, but I call it art. In every stitch and tear, I'll play my part. It's the struggle of the streets, the hustle so real. In my tattered jacket, I sealed the deal. A symbol of defiance against the status quo. My passion of pants, I let it show. It's not about the riches or the wealth I lack. In my faded hoodie, I stay on track. It's the heart of the hustle, the grind each day. In my worn out kicks, I find my way. Ripped and torn, but still I stand. In my ragged attire, I command. It's not just fabric, it's a statement I preach. In my threadbare garment, I find my reach. So here's to the ones with the clothes that tear. In our patched up attire we have, so let the world see our garments worn. For in our rags, our stories are born. In the language of the streets we speak. In our torn up clothes we find our peak.
I told him the story, so he starts laughing and he starts telling me this fucking story of how 72-year-old guy. Mm-hmm. All right, this is back in like the fucking 90s. So this guy was born in the 20s, and he was telling a story. He goes, "Yeah, I used to bang this blonde-haired, green-eyed chick in the park up against a tree." And I sat there with my fucking jaw on the ground because I'm looking at the guy. He looked like Santa Claus. And then I was like, people did that back then? And he just said, he's like, let me tell you something, kid. Every generation thinks they're the first generation that ever fucked. And he went on this whole long thing. Everything's been done. It's all fucking, And so I don't think... I'm not defending doing something like that.
No, it's definitely not a new phenomenon. But it's
fucking Chuck Berry. Can we have a little respect here?
Absolutely.
Right? He should have fucking peed on her in her mouth, and she's going, hey. She sounded like she was getting peed on. Maybe that's why his eyes fucking went wide. He was probably getting aroused.
Oh, Jesus.